I'm Jade Rambo and welcome to Up Close and Personal, coming to you straight from the London College of Collaboration at the London College of Communication. Today in the studio, the aftermath discussion of the 2015 LCC House project.
Hello and welcome to the London College of Collaboration at the London College of Communication. A place of the highest quality professional training and education, almost impossible to get anywhere else. Where every year, second-year students from the BA Film and TV and Live Event and TV courses get the chance to collaborate and produce a series of splendid 4-minute single-camera dramas in a chosen era and genre supported by industry professionals.
Whose influence made this year's collaborative house project unique and a success? We will be seeing clips from the projects, up close and personal chats with the tutors, technical team and crew members. These students a few weeks ago came together to collaborate with a common aim to develop, produce and design 14 original short films. Helen Keller quoted on collaboration that alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. And Philip Jackson said, the strength of the team is the individual member, the strength of each individual member is the team. And finally, Henry Ford, coming together is the beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. Today, trending on collaboration to make today's students tomorrow's industry professionals. That is why we call them the London College of Collaboration at the London College of Communication. Louise, Cecilia and Eric, Gaffed and Ballet. I'm going to ask you some questions, but first of all, we are going to see what you guys have been up to last term. Louise, you were in charge of costume, weren't you?
Yep, I was,
Yep.
yes.
How was that for you?
Yeah, it was a big challenge. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to actually do it at the beginning, but yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the...
We did secretly spy on you during your role, so we
Oh,
are
gosh.
going to watch you quickly now.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And back with more questions. Let's see Louise in action. How did you collaborate in your team?
Well, collaboration was like the key to success with our team, and I really feel that it played such a huge part in the overall outcome of everything. I feel like I had another costume coordinator alongside me, which was Ada,
Yep.
and we both really worked very well together. I was good at some things that she wasn't, and vice versa, so we really played on each other's strengths.
Yep.
And I feel that was like something that we recognised as soon as we started working together, and then I feel like that really just brought everything together. And then we had our costume assistants who were
Yep.
alongside us, who again also really understood like the whole aspect
So
of
you were on
collaboration.
all of the films? And
Yeah,
then
I
you just
was, yeah.
delegated across the assistants to each
Yes,
films?
I did, and then I sort of was on 4 films mainly doing costume.
Okay.
Yeah.
And judging across your experiences on this,
Mhm.
any particular roles you'd like to try?
I'd like to try a production designer, something like that, or maybe art director or something like
So
that.
keeping it arty.
Definitely.
Cecilia, you were in a few films, weren't you?
Yeah,
Good. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I really did, yeah.
Tired?
Really tired.
How did you deal with the tasks?
So I had one major role, which took up most of my time, which was producing Dr. G and the Singularity Engine. And then I was production manager and third AD on 2 other films.
Okay. What
Yeah.
was your favourite role, do you think?
I think, well, I like to do a lot. So my favorite role was the producer role.
Okay. And Eric, you actually wrote one of the original screenplays, A Man's World.
I did.
We have a clip for it for you now before we're back with questions. Eric, what
Hi.
influenced A Man's World?
Well, before the house project, my knowledge of the UK during the 50s was very limited, but I knew I wanted to focus on the average persons and how the events of the decades affected their living conditions. So I did some research and I came across these extremely sexist advertisements and TV commercials.
Yep.
I knew the decade was a very male chauvinistic time,
Yeah.
yeah. But I didn't know it was that open in public, so
Okay.
I wanted to share that and that was what influenced me
And it
the most.
ended up being quite funny.
It did. That was exactly what I wanted to achieve, actually, because when I pitched my idea, people in the audience were laughing, but it was more an uncomfortable laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of ridiculous now to think about it, that people actually live that way.
Yeah,
and
us women are very
it was
thankful
so
for that.
degrading
Yeah.
towards women.
Brilliant. And do you think it came straight from the paper to life exactly how you wanted it, or did it definitely change, but for the better?
Definitely changed, but I would say for the better. When I wrote it so many times, and I kept thinking about it so much that maybe I had problems conveying the same story visually.
Yeah.
But at the end, I'm happy with the results, and yeah.
Good. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us today, guys. You all now have 10 seconds each to sell your course and the university. Eric?
Well, the tutors here are great mentors, and they prepare us very well for the real industry.
Nice. Cecilia?
Well, this is directly to my tutors, actually. Keep us busy, because otherwise we kind of die out.
I'd say that probably the greatest thing that I've enjoyed and stuff about the course is just collaborating with people across different courses. I wish we did it every term. Like, it's so fun, and you just learn so much from everybody else.
So this has been the strongest term for you all?
Oh yeah, the most
the
I ever have.
And the best.
Yeah, I like
Nice.
to keep busy.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us, the industry professionals of tomorrow.
I've been quite heavily involved in the planning of the collaborative project with David Knight and Candida. One of the big things that I'm going to be doing is helping with allocating budgets for the production designers. Again, getting stuff in and out, just helping them manage their money and making sure that everything adds up.
Hi, Chucky.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Are you well rested?
Yeah, I am actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
After all the paperwork that you
Yeah,
had to do last term?
Lots of papers.
Okay, so we're going to go straight in with questions.
Okay.
Please explain exactly what you did, specific roles. How'd you like the bank?
Well, I'm the production manager across the department.
Okay.
So I help students with any of their production processes that they might need. That covers things like budget. So for this one, I was very much the bank.
Yep.
I was distributing cash and making sure that receipts are coming back to me and that everything was being purchased in the right fashion.
Yep.
I was also helping with risk assessments, health and safety, making sure that students participate in good, safe, legal practice when making their
And
films.
do you think the standards were high? Were people doing it all correctly?
Definitely. I mean, there's never silly questions, and students come to me all the time looking for advice and help with that stuff.
And you actually graduated from LCC, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
So it's probably quite good to know that here at LCC they don't only teach you, they can also hire you. Okay. So you watched the films?
I saw some of them. I haven't seen all of them, but.
So do you think the students did well though, overall?
Really well.
Not just the paperwork, visually it was great.
Yeah, I mean, I design as well.
Okay.
Outside of uni, I graduated as a production designer and a producer, so I have a little bit of insight
quite broad.
into that stuff. Yeah.
What is your favourite area to work in yourself?
Well, production's really good, and I think it's great for students because you kind of get an overview of like every other department.
Yeah.
So it's great for learning because you have to know a little bit about camera, you have to know a little bit about directing, you can kind of pull in the creative reins if you need to.
And do you think this course really helped prepare you for the outside world?
Yeah, I think so. I think the skills that you learn on this course primarily are about collaboration and about process. And I think that if you can learn to expose yourself to all kinds of different problems and all kinds of different people and work effectively as a team, that's like the best thing that you can take away from this university and these courses.
Okay.
It's great that they're so practical.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much again for joining us today. And welcome back again. Joining us on Today on Up Close and Personal is Carl and Chris. On this project you played several roles. You also ran some workshops, but specifically you worked on All You Need Is Cool.
That's true.
Brilliant. And did you enjoy this?
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was good rehearsing with the actors and doing the Steadicam.
Yep.
And yeah, it was good. And I think the students enjoyed it as well.
What else did you do on the other films?
Well, yeah, my job was to give like the camera inductions.
Yep.
And so take the students through the Blackmagic camera and the lenses, looking after the lenses. General things like locking the lid of the lens box.
Yeah.
Or leaving it open. And there was an incident where somebody had left the lid off and went to pick up the box.
Oh no.
And
everyone's
the
heart
lenses
just went,
could have,
no!
yeah. And David Knight was there to dive on them. If everyone listens to what we say, then yeah, we can save the lenses.
Good. Okay. And do you think the films were a success overall? Have you seen all of them?
I don't know if I've seen all of them, but yeah, I've seen a few. And I think the success of the films is, for this project, is the learning.
Yeah.
So I think the students learn a hell of a lot.
Technically, and also how to work together as well.
Yeah, collaboratively, about the language of filmmaking, about the storytelling, and about the technical side. So I think it very much is. It's a classroom type project.
Yep.
So the end results aren't going to make it to the television screens or cinemas, but I think the students' journey is immense.
It's good showreel materials.
Bigger and better things afterwards. So
it's a very
important,
good practical start to a portfolio.
Yeah.
Good. Chris, so how do you think working collaborative works?
I thought it worked really well this year. It's actually worked well in previous years, but I think this year in particular people seem to have got on quite well, and people have sort of jumped into their roles, but both feet first, so it's been good.
Yeah, especially merging the two courses, because they're taught quite differently. I think bringing them together, there could have been quite a clash.
Yes.
Did you also ran the workshops?
I ran some workshops on sort of production sound.
Okay.
They'd had some other workshops as well, but I sort of gave some brush ups on that in terms of the workshops for the course. And
did everyone listen?
We hope so.
Yeah. And have you watched the films?
Actually, I haven't seen any of them.
Any of them?
I have not seen a single frame of footage, but I was impressed by the sets, I have to say that.
Oh, did you go in and see them?
I was in there almost every single day to start the shooting of each day.
Oh, okay, so you saw
to make sure the sound equipment worked, and I saw a lot of the sets, and they were pretty amazing. Yep.
Nice. Good. Okay. Well, we know you're both very busy people, and without you guys running off now, we'll probably get off air. So I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much. Ava, how are you?
Good, and you?
I'm very good. You were on a lot of films.
It was a great opportunity to work and take up many different roles and work as production designer, more in the art department team, and then also take up some other roles and help out the Gaffed students.
Yep.
And to see also, to learn from them and to work with them on the lighting of the set, to bring the set alive, which is so important, and to see a really different range and collaborate with them on different
so you think the collaboration across the two courses worked well?
I think it's an amazing project. I mean, from last year we worked already with the Gaffed students, and to continue the projects and also to work with them on other projects. I think it's an amazing opportunity to bring students together and collaborate on different projects and bring things alive.
And what role would you say that you really enjoyed?
I think I've really enjoyed working closely with the cinematographers and directors to create the set and build the visual aspects of basically their films and really make a project come true. I really wanted to now learn more on the technical aspects, so lighting and get involved in different things that maybe touch more the Gaffed, but it's really a very interesting aspect, I think.
Brilliant. So, in 10 seconds, could you round up how much you enjoyed the course and you could sell it to us?
I think it's really a great to be in LCC and be able to get all the different courses that we have to collaborate, even now with the grad films, to have graphic design students involved, to have a sound department, sound design. I mean, we have amazing different courses.
So you'd say in the future, more collaboration.
I think collaboration is great.
Thank you very much for joining us, Dava. And now we're going to go to the news.
I'm Tuesday Ellie George, reporting from the LCC studio. Today's news for a good cause highlights the importance of giving. This year, 3 amazing BA live event and television students collaborated with the Shooting Star Chase charity to help raise funds for children who are terminally ill. In order to raise funds, Zainab participated in a skydive. Let's see what Zainab got up to.
Next on the sofa is Rob Mallender. You worked on all of the sets?
I worked on the skeleton of the set. Everything had to fit within a particular layout, and so we created it to sort of with a little bit of flexibility. But yeah, there was just more or less one set within which everything happened.
And you taught all of the students on the ballet workshops?
Yes, certain students were sort of construction specific. We had a construction manager, an assistant construction manager, and 2 construction crew, and then sort of various helpers came in and out according to sort of what was required and how much we had going on a particular day. So there was a lot of toing and froing once the productions got underway as well.
Well, we do have a VT of you all in action with your team, so we're going to have a look at that and then we'll be back with some more questions. Do you miss your team of builders from last term at all?
Yeah, I think by the end it was quite. We developed a sort of nice working relationship, you know.
What is your opinion on collaboration, and how effective do you think it's worked this term?
Yeah, collaboration is a tough one for lots of people, I think, but I think they all did very well. I think that in addition to that, there is the issue of leading people. Insofar as collaboration sort of suggests, if you like, a sort of everyone being on the same kind of level, but there have to be team leaders as well. And actually, leading people can be very, very difficult for both parties. Okay, because you've got a group of students, then all of a sudden someone's the boss, and so watching that play out has been quite interesting, you know. But I think everyone kind of handled it pretty well. Any kind of production is by its nature intrinsically collaborative anyway, so it's an essential aspect of the course.
Well, I'd like to tell you that a little birdie tells me you're quite famous and loved by all your students. The ballet had a verbal vote and you were voted most loved teacher.
Was this in the pub by any chance?
Yeah.
I like to have a good relationship with the students as best as possible. I mean, it's difficult in a sense because obviously there's an awful lot of them, especially across the 3 years. I think it's probably because I'm too soft on them.
Do you have anything to say to them?
Professional advice, yeah, just make yourself as useful as possible.
Okay.
In all regards, attitude counts for a lot. I've seen people with an awful lot of talent in the industry, but very little attitude fail, and vice versa, because it just requires you to be useful and enthusiastic.
So we've heard from Rob, who we'd just like to say goodbye and thank you very much from the ballet on their behalf.
My pleasure, you're welcome.
And then we're going to be back with Candida and David Knight.
The brilliant aspect of this project, from my perspective, is it's a very creative process for everybody involved, and it connects and contextualises all the roles that make the production.
welcome back to Up Close and Personal LCC and the moment we've all been waiting for, the puppet masters of the house project, David Knight and Canada. Okay, so we're going to go straight to questions.
Great.
Are you ready?
We're ready.
Yep.
First of all, you came together. How was that?
Very easy.
Yeah, it's your 5th year, but 2nd year working as collaborative, the house project, right?
This is the formal 2nd year of a collaborative project,
Okay.
but I think we were quite, as we came together so easily 5 years ago, we kept it going from 5 years ago as a project that suited the courses. By chance, it then fitted the university's remit to have a universal collaborative project, so we retained it, and it's retitled because of that, but it was always house, inverted commas, project, as in the house.
Okay,
Yeah.
and how do you think the students managed this term to come together, because they're from quite different disciplines?
This year I felt was the best year because this is the first time they've both been 2nd years.
Okay.
So their development was much more in line, whereas previously...
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah, don't you think previously the first years used to run this project with your 2nd years of the Gaffed, and I think that was a struggle for both courses because there was too much pressure on them to bring everybody up to the same level.
Okay.
But it was still very valuable, and that's why we kept it going, and we've developed and we've learnt from it, and now I think we've got it right.
So how do you feel Gaffed collaborated with ballet, seeing it from that side?
I think it's always a challenge to make any type of drama work in the sense of really understanding the importance of time and place and all of the kind of the elements of production that's required to come together. So in that respect, whether it works or not is really, I think, not that important. What is important is for the groups that look at their own work and understand that it wasn't up to whatever those reasons were, that they reflect on it and do it differently next time.
Okay.
on a you know. But, you know, to all intents and purposes,
It's all learning, isn't it? That's why we're still in school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think this project really prepares people the most so far for the industry outside?
For all of the reasons that probably other people have said to you before, which is that we expect it to be a professional engagement with drama, and for all the departments to engage with that in that manner. Whether that's the case across all films is always debatable, but for most part, I think that the students do a very good job, and they understand that. They understand the benchmarks and the levels that we do set from the outset. We're very clear in that, and touch wood, most of the time they are met.
Okay.
The collaboration side of it, it's a big part of it.
Yeah.
But I think it's also an awakening for a lot of the students. That's the main thing for me that I see happen, because the theory that you've done in the first year, the exercises that you've all done in the first year, I know you say we've come from different start points, actually they realise there's a lot of similar processes that you all go through, whether you're directing, designing, production, you know, manager, sound, you have to still go through the similar processes, and it contextualises all of that.
Secanda, you were on most of the projects in the morning mainly, weren't you? Making sure it was all set up.
I did a morning check, and then I did an end of day turnaround, as we called it, when each set had to transform it from the set of the film that day into the incoming set for the next day. So I was sort of top and tail.
Okay, and do you think the students were well prepared for the level of stress they were going to have to experience of getting it all done in such a short period of time?
I think they were as well prepared as they could have been. I think taking that responsibility on for the first time is always going to be stressful. But they were, it certainly had that explained to them when they were electing their roles, which they did elect rather than got given. And I think the level of maturity through taking that responsibility was well developed through the project. And on reflection, looking at their representations in their submissions, their workbooks, I think many of them gained, you know, a lot from it, and therefore they were well prepared.
Nice. And have you seen all of the films?
I have seen all the films.
Do you have a favourite set you saw?
I don't have a favourite set. I have a few sets I think were very well researched and prepped. I still found value in the ones that perhaps had a little less, because I could see there was something coming through.
How, David, did you prepare your students for the big days?
By giving them their heads. I think it's really important on a project like this that you say from the very beginning that your support as a tutor is there if there's problems that they can't actually manage. I think that this is the kind of project where you need to kind of say to a team, you are independent now, you are a production entity, you're on a single camera drama set, you manage the problems, and if there's anything that you can't manage, then come to us. But we want you to take ownership of that space, and if you want to produce good drama, you have to allow a team to take ownership of that environment, both in terms of managing the crew, the space, and well, everything to do with it needs to be managed by them. And so I just used to come along with a coffee, just see if people are okay, and then go off again, because I think that's probably the best input that I could have.
Do you have any films in particular that stood out the most? Do you
ones that understood, I think, taking on board the feedback that they received. I think one of the kind of the hallmarks of this project is that they received so much rigorous training beforehand in the 4 or 5 weeks that leads up to production. So they had dedicated screenwriting tutors working with them. They had their own mechanisms of developing drafts. So I think overall it's just one of those projects that just has so many kind of production values in the teaching as well as the actual output from the students.
Yeah, and you can really tell the students that paid attention and went to the workshops, because once you saw them on the floor, then
there was a confidence around them, because they were putting into practice the theory and the workshops that would hopefully was going to support their particular role. And the students who weren't there, they displayed also equally their gaps and weaknesses. So it's a project that you can't hide in. You can't hide from the fact you haven't prepped. You can't hide from the fact you haven't researched. Everything you do will show itself on the screen at some point.
Yeah, it must be weird as well. Going in the morning, everyone's just chaotic and stressed, and then you come in at the end and everyone's like, oh, phew. It must be felt quite nice.
Yeah, we did do sometimes an interview for the day with how was it for you today, which was quite useful actually, to get instant response from a student so we understand how they felt. I think actually the whole project is a good research project for the staff about how to develop each year.
As well.
We have certainly sort of slightly changed it this year, and I think we've learnt from that we can take more experimental time and chances with you guys to get you to develop and to share your skill bases.
Yes.
So it's been good for us as well in that sense.
What do you think of our set today?
I haven't really had a good look at it, but it looks to me as if it's very appropriate for what you're doing. It's comfy,
Good. Both of you, how do you feel about your students going forward to the industry now? Do you think they would be ready to start looking for jobs on weekends even?
I think they've learnt about the right attitude. I think one of your earlier members, Rob, had mentioned this.
Yeah.
I think attitude and understanding of how to talk to each other and how emotional moments occur and how to handle that has certainly been learnt through this project by many of the students. Students are actually going out from the ballet course into industry now on work experience placements, and we're having very positive feedback. So I think they're getting there. There's still more to learn.
You definitely can't learn interpersonal skills from a lecture theatre. You definitely have to learn it hands-on.
As they say, being is becoming.
So you guide all your students and teach your students to design the production?
Yes, all students were told to definitely do the research, but if the script then demanded a change of approach, whether it's an abstraction or it had a deviation from that, they were also taught to be responsive to the script and to the direction. It's not just about being authentic in period, it's about interpretation. And so there were a few that had slight deviations, but if that's qualified and explained and it's part of the production plan, then that's acceptable.
Jason Tomerick is an Emmy-winning director who quoted in his filmmaking script to screen using proven Hollywood techniques that the contribution of the production design and art departments are both vastly underrated and underappreciated on most independent films. Until the day of the shoot arrives, the director realises how sparse the background looks. He went on to say in his notes that the production design of a movie is incredibly important in creating a realistic environment for the character, especially in period film. If I want to join the ballets, what would I expect?
A full-on, fast-paced, I'm a bit of a taskmaster, so with some demands on you to perform, to be honest.
Do you feel like you really push your students to the max in?
I think they think so.
Yeah.
I think you guys think so now you've worked with me.
Yeah.
But it's for your personal value as well. And it is actually, I think, you know, rewarding at the end to come out knowing as much as you do from it.
Yeah. Once you've been pushed to extreme,
Yeah.
you can then start going further.
Yeah.
So
Your confidence and
working
robust.
within your means is boring.
Absolutely.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much too.
Okay, so we do have a surprise for you all, and we've brought Carl, David, Candida back. But to do this, I would like to introduce someone very special to come and give the information. The Dean of Media LCC.
Do you remember me? Hello, hi. So the students wanted to really thank you for the amazing work that you've done.
Oh, wow.
And they've said they've had the most amazing time on this unit. So they'd like to thank all three of you. So Carl.
Okay. God bless.
Gosh.
Wow. David.
Oh, thank you very much indeed.
And
Wow.
Candida. This is what we're here for.
Thank you, everyone.
Honoured and proud. Well done, Candida. Great.